Welcome again to day 3 of Breakfast from Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Nitro and Flapjacked. We are at the 30th anniversary of Challenge Roth, and we couldn't be here if we did not have the 5-time champion, Mr. Jurgen Zack, joining us once again. How are you, Jurgen?
I'm fine, Bob. Thank you for having me.
It's always an honor to have a legend like yourself. So, Jurgen, talk us through what's so special about this event, because you've raced all over the world. You've raced in Kona. What's special about Roth?
Well, it's the atmosphere. It's how the community here takes part in the race. And I realized this atmosphere already in 1985. In 1985, I was supposed to race here, and the organizer invited me to come here despite having an accident. I had an accident just before the race. And I was walking on crutches, had a full cast. I couldn't walk. And he said, "Don't worry, you invited. I have a homestay family for you." And this family, family Roth, family Müller, is still the same homestay.
So the same homestay since 1985.
Yes, and I came here walking on crutches, and I saw the race, and I thought, wow, this is something.
Yes.
This is going to be the future of triathlon in Germany. And then the next year was the national championship, where they flew in Scott Tinley, and Dirk Aschmoneit won the race. And then in '87 European Championship, and '88 was the first time when they had the Ironman race, and that was it. I mean, then it was going through the roof here in Roth, and the difference between here and other bigger races is that almost every spectator here is an expert in triathlon. The people who live here, they know the big names, they study the newspapers, they are into the sport. And if you compare this with a big city race like Frankfurt, they also have a lot of spectators on the course and a good atmosphere. But most people are just living there and just go there because
there's something going on.
And the roads are closed anyway. They need to do something.
Right.
And here, I would say all the people who live here, they are into the sport and they support the sport.
That's interesting. Yeah, because a lot of times you want to put an event on where there's people. You know, if you're Atlantic City Boardwalk or downtown Honolulu, getting people is great. But here, the people are coming out because they know the sport, they do it themselves probably, and they're fans of it.
Yeah. And the people who live here also, they follow the history of the sport. They have been following this for a while, and they still remember my name.
They remember you.
Lothar Leder, and they even remember Scott Tinley and Dirk Aschmoneit.
Love that. So we were talking to Lothar yesterday, and I said, could you be friends with Jurgen back in the day? And he said, no. Jurgen and I could not be friends because we had to win these races in Germany to be the best German athlete. Was your attitude the same? You guys couldn't be friends?
That's true. I mean, the media was making such a hype about Roth. In the late 80s it started, and in the 90s it was insane. And for a German it was important to be here in Roth. It was not just Lothar. Before it was Wolfgang Dietrich. Before that it was Dirk Aschmoneit, and then Dr. Rainer Müller, Holger Lorenz, and then later Thomas Hellriegel and Norman Stadler.
Sure.
So for us, this was the highlight of the year, but it did affect for me personally, my whole preparation for Hawaii, because I was not the kind of guy who was able to do many races in a row.
Right.
I needed a little bit of time to recover from Roth. So doing Roth in July and then recovering and then going to San Diego to train for Hawaii. The time was a little bit too short, and I have a feeling that I could never do a 100% race in Hawaii because I left it in Roth.
Sure. Well, it's interesting because I would see you in Germany, and I'd see you at other races. And I don't know what it was about the heat over there, but you looked bigger there, even though I know you weren't. You just seemed like, for whatever reason, if it was the humidity or whatever, you finished second there. You were always the first guy off the bike. You dominated that race, but you dominated the cycling part of that race. But did you feel you ever had your best run there?
No. I think my best run here in Roth was 2:47 and 2:48, 2:49, and in Frankfurt also 2:48. But in Hawaii, I think I just broke 3 hours by a few seconds 2 times. And I never had that perfect day. And you said I looked bigger in Hawaii. I never step on the scale to check my weight, but I do have the same feeling. It must be a problem of the water retention. I think with heat and humidity, if I'm not used to it, I do retain water. And when people fly to Hawaii, they experience the same thing.
Right.
Suddenly, they feel bloated. I think it takes a long time to get used to the heat and humidity. And I do live in Phuket right now, and we have a similar weather all year round in Phuket, and now I'm used to this. But when I came from Germany to San Diego, and San Diego was totally different. It was warm, but it was dry
humidity,
heat.
yeah.
And then I stepped out of the plane in Hawaii, and I thought, wow, how can I do this race here? It's too humid here.
So when you look back now, and you know how you trained for Ironman, and for this race, would you change much in the way you trained? Because you had so much success, and I think it is very difficult. This race is more important for a German athlete than Hawaii. This had to be your A race each year. Would you train any differently, knowing what you know now?
I think my preparation for Roth was pretty good, but
Yes.
I would have changed a lot in my preparation for Hawaii. I guess I was too much into speed training at this time. I had this feeling, okay, I need to reduce my volume after Roth and do a little bit more intensity. But that was not what I needed for Hawaii. I think I needed to get used to the distance and to the pounding of the road.
So more
running
longer
here
runs,
on a
yeah.
soft trail in Roth is a little bit different than running on an asphalt
and
road
that's
in Hawaii.
hard road, yeah.
And looking back, I think I should have done a little bit less speed work and a little bit more race-specific stuff. I would have done more the Brett Sutton typical 30 times 800 instead
Yes.
of running 10 times 1000. I remember in 1996 I did a 1K repetition set on a UCSD track in San Diego with Simon Lessing.
Yes.
We were supposed to do this in 3:05, which is pretty fast for an Ironman athlete
Yes.
with 200 jog recovery. The first one was in 3:03. I was leading. The second one he was leading 3:01. And he complained it's too fast. I said, okay, let's go slower. He was leading 3:01. 3:01. I was leading 3:03. Still too fast. Then he rested the ninth one just to put
Yes.
the hammer down on the last one, and we ran a 2:55. I did 2:55. He ran a 2:51. Then he said to me, Jurgen, your running is so fast. You should run 2:40 in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That was 96, and that year I ran a 3:06.
Right.
So my training was too much more towards speed.
Not enough
I
strength
ran
stuff.
more like a 10K runner,
Right.
instead of somebody who has to run the marathon off the bike.
So when you look back on your career, is there one race that you look at and say that was the best day I ever had?
Yeah, I would say 97 here in Roth, and in 97 in Hawaii.
Yeah, because you're second in Hawaii and you won here.
Yeah, in Roth, I would say I had a perfect race. I had an okay swim. I had a 4:14 bike split. I came off the bike with Thomas Hellriegel. We had a huge lead over Lothar Leder and Luc van Lierde, who was the Hawaii Ironman
Right.
champion. And I knew that these guys can run fast, but I had a good run. I ran steady, just under 4 minutes, 3:55 per kilometer, which is in miles, about 6:25 mile pace, 6:20. And with 10K to go, I still had a 3-minute lead, and I picked up the pace, and it was not enough.
Oh, that's when Luke got you?
And that was when there was a $100,000 bonus on the line for the first one to break the world record. And Luc van Lierde passed me with 1 mile to go. He did a 7:50. I did a 7:51, but I ran a 2:47 after 4:14. I had a consistent race. I didn't do any mistake. So I was happy about this, and I think the best guy of the day won the race. But looking back, I would say this was my perfect day.
So the perfect day was a race you didn't win.
Exactly.
Wow. And then you came back in Kona and wasn't that the same year Thomas Hellriegel won and you got second?
Exactly. And I would also say this was a good day because my preparation was not perfect. I don't know if you remember this. I was injured.
I don't think I remember that.
That was when Luc pulled out.
Yes.
Because of a stress fracture.
Right.
And then at the same time, I had this pubic bone injury and I couldn't run. So I was doomed to just swim and bike for like a month. And then 3 weeks before the race, I started to jog a little bit on grass.
Yeah.
So the last 3 weeks before Hawaii, I just had maybe 6 runs between 20 and 45 minutes on grass.
Yeah.
And then I made it to the start line, and I had no expectations. I was just happy to be there in one piece. And even if I would have been 5th or 8th or 10th, it would have been okay.
You would have been
but
fine knowing, yeah.
I was, and then I had this helmet issue in the race. That was the same year. You remember when the helmet buckle came off?
Yeah. You couldn't
So I was in the perfect position in the swim because I couldn't run. I swam more, and I had an awesome swim. I beat Thomas by 2 minutes in the swim.
Helmet on.
And my helmet buckle was gone.
That's right, yeah.
One of the volunteers tried to hand me the helmet, but he didn't see that my helmet was, the buckle was closed around the handlebar.
So he
So
pulled
he
it off.
pulled, and then the buckle came off. So without a buckle, I couldn't close the helmet, and then we found the buckle, but the ends of the strap were fuzzy.
Yes.
So
you
I
couldn't get it through.
Couldn't get it through.
How much time do you think you lost?
I lost about 4 minutes.
Oh God.
And it was all uncut. I mean, on NBC.
Right.
So I think it was pretty good TV.
It was
Me
great TV.
totally panicking.
Yeah, with
screaming helmet, helmet, helmet. And then I made it back on the bike and made it back into first position on the bike. Had a, I don't know, 6 or 5 minute lead over Thomas Zellweger. And of course, because of the lack of mileage on the run, he caught me on the bike on the run. But I mean, Thomas deserved to win. He was second 2 times in a row the years before.
With some great racing.
And he was a friend.
Yes.
And so I could live with that.
Yes.
And having Thomas first, me second, Lothar third.
What did that do for Germany when you guys took first, second, third, and at that time the most important race in the sport?
Oh, that was crazy. I mean, it was all over the news. And when we came back to Germany, we had to travel from one TV show to the next one for 2 weeks.
So you and Lothar became friends then?
No, it became even more intense, I would say.
Really?
Because and he always came back to Roth to kick my butt.
Yes.
But he couldn't in 98 and 99. I won the race again.
Yes.
And then in 2000 was the first time when he did win the race, when I had my issue with my saddle.
Right.
The saddle came down and I had to drop out because I didn't bring the right tools. And but that is history. That's a long time ago. And then the same year I did race in Austria, just 2 weeks after Roth, just to make a point, a statement. Because when my saddle...
You know what type of fitness you had.
Yeah, but I mean, I had to drop out. Lothar won the race. People were saying, okay, Jurgen planned this because he's out of shape, he's overweight. Then I said, okay, I need a race within the next 2 weeks. So I went to Austria, Klagenfurt, won the race in, I think, 8:03 and rode a 4:14 again on the bike. So that was a good statement.
So what type of training do you do? You're at Tanyapura. You're working. It's an amazing facility. Just seeing what you guys are doing there. You're running the training program there.
Yes, I work in Phuket, Tanyapura, which is a huge training facility on 20,000 square meter, built for 100 million euro.
Wow!
And we have everything a triathlete needs: 50-meter pool, 25-meter pool, 500-meter tartan running track. We have beautiful roads and trails around our facility.
Yeah.
And we do offer a non-stop, like basically a non-stop training camp all year round. We have 14 coached group sessions per week. And I'm the head coach, so I organize the whole triathlon training. And I have 2 more coaches from Australia, Brooke Langeries, a woman, a young lady, and Ben Hammond, and one Thai coach, Ricky, who is the fastest runner on the island. And also we have Chris McCormack on board, who is our executive chairman.
That's pretty fun, you and Chris McCormack working together.
Oh, it's fun. I appreciate him being there. And he's a good inspiration. And since he's there, I mean, we have a good laugh. We laugh much more than before. It's always fun.
Did you race against Macca very much?
Yes. At the end of my career, we raced in Hawaii.
Yes.
I remember when he came there as a young kid, and he had no respect for the race. He said, for me, it's just another race. I don't care about the history and the myth about this race. I even take lava home if I want to. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. And I'm going to win it. I'm going to win 7.
Yeah, and nobody took him serious, and he really had a hard time. He dropped out the first few years.
Walked
and
the second year.
He bonked many times. But then he did manage to win it twice.
He did, yeah.
And he was not talented in the heat. He always... I think genetically he has a problem when it's really hot.
Yes.
But
which is why he lives in Laguna Phuket.
Yeah, we need to do extra stops now for him
to
refill our water bottles.
Yeah, because he's always dying out there. I love that. So what's your goal here? I know Lothar Leder is racing. He said yesterday that he hopes to be in front of you.
Oh, Lothar will destroy me, no problem. No doubt about this.
You bet on him?
I would put my money on Lothar. For me, it's just having fun.
Yes.
I did a 9:18 last year, and I was really pleased about this because I'm not training much. I swim about 4 kilometers per week.
Yeah.
I do ride still 300 kilometer,
Yeah.
sometimes a little bit more per week, and I just run 30K.
Yes,
per
30K a week.
Yeah, and
that's plenty.
I had 4 runs the whole year, about 20 to 24 kilometers.
Keeps you healthy if you don't run.
Yeah, that's why I just keep it consistent.
Yes.
And not too long and not too fast because of little issues with my lower back, for example.
Well, you had like really major back issues.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's why I had to ride on a soft ride. You
Yes,
remember that?
I do.
I have 2 slip discs in my lower back.
Yep.
And I need to keep it balanced.
Right.
So that's why I'm not doing this high volume. I listen to my body. If I have a problem, I have no problem to have a few days off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to enjoy the sport more, and I was surprised about my 9:18 last year.
Yeah.
If I can repeat this, I'm happy. But Lothar, if you have a bad day and if you start walking,
you're on him.
I'm there.
You're going to be on him like white on
I'm
rice.
ready to have you for breakfast.
He's going to take you down. You heard it on Breakfast from Roth. Jurgen Zack is taking Lothar Leder down. So is it hard to come to a race that you've won 5 times knowing you're not going to win? Is it hard to do it and just enjoy the day and enjoy the sport?
It's all about fun. It's
It
all
is,
about fun.
yeah.
I know when I was racing as a professional, I had this tunnel vision.
Yes.
I was just looking at myself and at my competition, and I didn't get the
You
whole...
didn't really smell the roses.
Yes. I mean, now taking it a little bit more easier, racing with the age grouper, coaching a lot of age groupers.
Realizing how great the sport is.
Yeah, I think like an age grouper,
Yes.
and I have more fun and more time to observe the scenery, the atmosphere, and interact a little bit more with the spectators.
And there's a lot of spectators here.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I have much more fun now than when I was a pro.
Well, we always have fun with you, Jurgen, even when you were a pro. I love one of my favorite memories is at the hotel room at the King Cam, Thomas Hellriegel in one bed, you in the other bed. Just, this is like right after first and second in Kona, and you were both sort of trying to take it in that the 2 Germans just finished first and second in Kona.
Exactly. Cool. And we had good entertainment at the same time. Remember, we were lying in bed, and
yes.
at the same time, the girls finished the race.
Yes.
It was when Wendy...
Oh, they're crawling.
Yeah,
and
the
Sean.
The crawl, the big crawl. Sean and Wendy
yes.
did the crawl. So we were lying in bed, enjoying our first and second place, and had a good laugh about the girls.
I love that. Jurgen Zack has been our guest, the legend of Challenge Roth. Jurgen, always a pleasure to chat, man. Making you sweat a lot here. This is good.
Oh,
huh?
yeah. It's a good preparation for the race.
We're brought to you by Nitro and Flapjack. This is the 30th anniversary of Challenge Roth. You are watching Breakfast from Roth. Rainer, take us out.